It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8 right here on WLEA. Well, boy, what a beautiful morning. This is really nice. And earlier this morning, not a cloud in the sky, stars are out, it was totally gorgeous. Well, it is unmistakably Monday. That's right, the start of the work week. You can't miss it. It kind of feels like Monday and looks like Monday and smells like Monday. It's Monday, that's right. However, now this week, we're going to have a shortened work week because Thursday is Independence Day, July 4th. So a lot of people are going to have some time off for this week, and I guess maybe some people will hook up Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, so they will have a 4-day weekend. Not bad. And let me see what else. Well, it certainly was a high-energy weekend. As you heard on Brian's News, high schools in the area had their graduations this weekend on Friday and Saturday. And it was, high energy. There are a lot of students in the class of 2019. And I attended with my wife, Patty, and we attended our granddaughter's graduation in Wellsville. And boy, did they have a big class. They really had a big class. And the auditorium, or the gym, was absolutely packed. I mean, it was packed. Yet there was a lot of excitement. Everybody's very happy and excited to be part of the class of 2019. And I was thinking, kind of interesting. There was one of these speakers, I don't remember which young lady it was, but she said, you taught us how to tie our shoelaces. And we taught you how to use an iPad. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay, we taught them how to tie their shoelaces, right? And then they taught us how to use iPads. And some of us really still don't know how to use an iPad, but hey, that's immaterial. And I'm thinking how fast technology has moved. I mean, if something is introduced on a Monday, by Friday it's outmoded. I mean, that's how fast technology is moving. And from there, as I said, the mind is an interesting thing. From there, I thought, the class of 2019, the changes they have seen in their very young lives, very short lives. And then I thought, this is July 1st. And in September, there will be a whole new crop of little kids, little ones, entering kindergarten. And they start school in September. So as near as I could calculate, those starting kindergarten in September will be the class of, get this, 2033. Right? They'll be the class of 2033. And if you think, or anybody thinks, that things have moved really fast in the last 20, 30 years, technology-wise, imagine the changes that these young children will see by the year 2033. As I said, if something is new on Monday, it's old by Friday, or sooner. So think of the changes that they will see, both technologically and societal changes. Boy, that's changing really quick, too. Society, it sure is. So they will see a lot of changes. And then I thought, by 2033, they would look at members of the class of 2019 and say, boy, you guys are really old. I mean, you guys are really outmoded, So it's all relative, man. It is all relative. So that's that. It is... I think of how things were, let's say, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and that seems like, the 12th century or something. I mean, man, that's really old. That's really old. So things are going to change a lot for the class of 2033, which starts school in September. So there you go. Well, as you heard, Congressman Tom Reed says that the Problem Solvers Caucus was instrumental in getting aid rushed to the southern border to help the children there. And it's kind of interesting because here was my lead story. I was on the official website of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. It's cbp.gov. It's on their official site. And the headline is Video. Hundreds of Haitians, Africans wade through Rio Grande, stroll into USA, carrying luggage. And there are two videos that go along with this story. And these people don't seem to be in a hurry. They're not. They don't look underfed. They don't look poor. Matter of fact, some of this luggage is kind of uptown. I mean, you'd expect to see it at the Rochester Airport or something. And they're carrying luggage, and these luggage, the pieces of luggage that you wheel, So they have luggage, and they're dressed rather well. And they have their children with them, and they're kind of strolling along, not running, it's really casual. And the story goes, groups of hundreds of Africans, Haitians, and others from Central and South America continue to trudge across the U.S.-Mexico border in record numbers, despite promises from Mexico to help stop the massive migration. Footage from the Del Rio sector of the border in Texas shows scores are making their way in mini caravans. There's the word caravan again. Making their way in many caravans, with many arriving well-dressed in designer clothes. And that's certainly what it looks like, toting luggage and backpacks with their children in tow. The Del Rio sector Border Patrol agents apprehended two large groups of over 100 in 2 days. CPB South Texas wrote in a video post on Twitter, total of 3 large groups this fiscal year. And then where are the numbers? The numbers are on the next page here. Border Patrol agents came across the first of the 2 most recent groups on June 22nd, when 105, that's no big deal, when 105 crossed the Rio Grande River and into the United States. That group consisted of 82 Haitians, with the rest from South America and Africa. On Monday, another group, this was last Monday, of course, on Monday, another group nearly twice as big, 205, waded across, undoubtedly inspired by the success of the first group. And the second wave included 122 Haitians, with dozens of others from Africa and South America, according to a statement from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Del Rio sector Border Patrol agents have apprehended people from over 45 countries around the world. 45 countries. It isn't just Mexico and the 3 countries south of it. 45 countries. Del Rio Sector Chief Patrol Agent Raul Ortiz said, "Our agents, along with the assistance of our DHS partners, continue to meet each new challenge as the ongoing humanitarian crisis evolved, and it's escalating quickly." Here are the numbers. Del Rio Sector agents apprehended 164% more unaccompanied children, 1,034% more family units, and 70% more single adults through May than they did last year. It's the same situation across the entire southwest border, where every single sector witnessed staggering increases compared to 2018. Through May fiscal year 2019, which was, a month and a half ago or so, agents apprehended 56,278 children, 332,981 family units, and 204,248 single adults. That is a lot of apprehensions, and those are the ones who were apprehended, right? How many were not? Anyway, Border Patrol agents on the southwest border apprehended 132,887 illegal immigrants in May alone, while the running total for fiscal year 2019 stands right now, or through May, at 787,161, roughly the population of Denver or Seattle. Most are claiming asylum, a legal loophole that leaves Border Patrol agents with few options but to process their claims and release them into the United States while they await adjudication, which takes years. And then you don't know where they go. You have no idea. So that's what's going on the southern border. And first it wasn't a crisis, and then suddenly it was, and who knows, this will probably keep going on for some time. Well, let me see, that's the southern border. How about the left coast? And this is California Governor Gavin Newsom. And his statement, I go, who cares? But there's one word he used that it kind of got my attention. California Governor Gavin Newsom is ramping up his rhetoric against the Republican Party by telling Axios he believes they will soon become an irrelevant third party. Newsom, whose state has sued Trump's administration 50 times. See, it doesn't say the federal government. It's sued Trump's administration 50 times, 5-0. Admitted he watches Fox News. Whoa! How do you like that? Admitted he watches Fox News and hears rhetoric that appeals to a shrinking voting base. And here's the real story. The Republican Party walks off the cliff, their third-party status, the Democrat governor said. It's exactly what Donald Trump is doing, and Mitch McConnell, who is completely complicit, is doing to the Republican Party nationally, and they don't even know what's about to hit them, he said. Newsom said he feels empathetic to the GOP because they are about to experience a profound demise. That's his words. That's the result of their own making, such as their xenophobia and hypermasculinity. Newsom's critiques of the GOP come shortly after he said they will go into the waste bin of history the way Republicans of the 90s have gone. That's exactly what will happen to this crop of national Republicans. And the word that really got my attention was hypermasculinity. So the GOP, the GOP suffers from hypermasculinity. And I'm thinking, hypermasculinity? What? Hypermasculinity. So I said, this is kind of interesting. Exactly what is hypermasculinity? So I looked and I checked out maybe half a dozen sites. And they're all kind of pretty much the same thing. So I had to choose one, and what I chose was Encyclopedia Britannica. And according to the site, hypermasculinity, sociological term denoting exaggerated forms of masculinity, virility, and physicality. Okay. Scholars have suggested that there are three distinct characteristics associated with the hypermasculine personality. Number one, the view of violence as manly. I don't know. Violence isn't manly, I don't think. Is it? Violence is violence, I don't know about that. But anyway, so they say, okay, hypermasculinity is the view of violence as manly. Number two, the perception of danger is exciting and the sensational. Okay. The perception of danger is exciting and sensational. Now, as I'm reading this, there's one more. And as I'm reading this, I'm thinking of Mitch McConnell. Now, imagine Mitch McConnell, okay? He is hypermasculine, I guess. So, in Mitch McConnell's view, the view of violence is manly. It doesn't really fit the image, really. The perception of danger is exciting and sensational. I can't imagine Mitch McConnell viewing danger as exciting and sensational, and callous behavior toward women, and regard toward emotional displays as feminine. So that's hypermasculinity, and according to Gavin Newsom, I don't think he would know hypermasculinity if it slapped him in the face. But anyway, look at that perfectly coiffed hair. There's a photo of him here. Boy, I wonder how much he spends on haircuts. Boy, every single hair is perfect. Okay, fine. Where was I? Yeah. So hypermasculine archetypes abound in the mass media, especially action films. The films of Clint Eastwood, for example, usually feature a strong silent hero who exhibits no emotion as he dispatches his enemies. A female lead character with exaggerated feminine qualities is often added to accentuate the masculine traits of the hero. So that's hypermasculinity, eh? Okay, so that's going to do the Republican Party in. Well, I suppose it's better than having no masculinity. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And anyway, that's kind of wrong. Because the perception of danger is exciting and sensational. Remember I had the story like 2 weeks ago with this 10-year-old girl who climbed El Capitan? Right? That's pretty dangerous. It doesn't get more dangerous than that, I don't think. Let me see. The view of violence is manly. Well, War is pretty violent. War isn't necessarily manly. War is necessary sometimes. Okay? So, the whole thing is, so that's going to do the Republican Party in because they're too masculine. Alrighty, there you go. Well, how about this? How about chickens running amok? Okay? Gangs, this is from the website called BGR. Gangs of wild chickens are terrorizing residents of an island in the UK. So here's chickens running amok. If you're worried about running into angry wildlife while on a nice jog, chances are you're afraid of stumbling across a bear or mountain lion or on a scenic forest trail or even a feral dog in the city. On the island of Jersey, which sits between England and France, they fear something entirely different. Wild chickens. I'm telling you, this is the truth. Right there. A recent report from news.co.uk reveals that feral chickens have been making life a bit more difficult for residents of the island, which is the largest of the Channel Islands. The chickens, which lack predators on the isolated landmass, are reproducing unchecked and now pose an issue for joggers, gardeners, and anyone who prefers to sleep past sunrise. It's suspected that the origins of the chicken problem stem from birds which were being kept as pets by locals. The birds may have escaped or were set free, and then they began to breed. And the chickens don't have any natural predators to keep the population in check, and are roaming the island in huge numbers. Gangs of them, harassing people, terrorizing people. Anyway, the residents attempted to curb the spread of the birds by hiring a firm to cull them. According to the report, only a few dozen birds were actually killed over 2 separate efforts, having very little impact on the overall population. So the landowners are allowed to take out chickens deemed a nuisance if they're within their property. But that doesn't seem to be doing much good for Jersey residents thus far. So these chickens are running loose and running amok and ravaging personal crops, and everybody's very scared of these chickens on the Channel Islands there. Okay, well, hey, insurance. Everybody needs insurance, right? Everybody needs insurance. You never know what's going to happen. Well, how about the Ryan agencies? With insurance offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville. They are your local independent insurance agency. Save smart on your insurance with the Ryan agencies. And why an independent agent like the Ryan agencies? Well, they have offices in Hornell, Jasper, and Wellsville, right? The Ryan agencies do the insurance shopping for you. It's like having your own personal insurance shopper. What could be better? The Ryan agencies have access to many insurance companies to find the best rates for you. They're insurance experts. They offer sound, unbiased advice, and they're very friendly, and they're local. The Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
The free agency signing period is underway in the NBA. Checking the biggest signings so far, the Brooklyn Nets have made the biggest splash, landing both forward Kevin Durant and guard Kyrie Irving. Durant reportedly agreeing on a 4-year deal worth $154 million. Irving agrees on a 4-year deal worth $141 million. Center DeAndre Jordan is also headed to Brooklyn. The Nets are also looking to finalize a sign and trade deal to send guard D'Angelo Russell to the Golden State Warriors. Russell will sign a 4-year, $117 million deal. Golden State is sending forward Andre Iguodala to Memphis Grizzlies, along with a protected first-round pick. The Miami Heat are reportedly finalizing a sign-and-trade deal with the 76ers for guard Jimmy Butler. Meanwhile, Philadelphia will bring in center Al Horford, who's leaving Boston, agreeing on a 4-year, $109 million deal. And the Celtics land guard Kemba Walker, who's leaving the Hornets. He agrees on a 4-year, $140 million deal with Boston. Some re-signings. The Portland Trailblazers re-signed guard Damian Lillard, 4 years, $196 million. The Golden State Warriors re-signed guard Klay Thompson, 5 years, $190 million.
New to golf or seasoned veteran, you'll enjoy the casual, relaxed atmosphere of Vanderview Golf Course. 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road, Vanderview is a 9-hole executive-length golf course with a driving range on one side of the road and the course on the other. Family-friendly and fun recreation for everyone. Greens fees are one price for unlimited play, $9.50. High school students, only $5. Children 12 and under with an adult, no charge. You can play up to 18 holes or 9 holes with a cart and get the second 9 holes at no additional charge. Ladies and senior golfers who don't hit the long ball, Vanderview's got the executive length that's just right for your game. And new this year, a season pass for only $100. That's a lot of golfing fun for a very little bit of money. Vanderview Golf Course, 2 miles from downtown Alfred on Waterwells Road. Vanderview Golf Course.
From the Fox Business Network, stock futures are higher after the U.S. and China agreed to restart trade talks. The U.S. offered concessions, including no new tariffs and an easing of restrictions on Huawei. The most sensitive equipment will still be off limits. Oil prices are higher this morning. OPEC and its allies are expected to cut oil supplies until at least the end of this year. Taco Bell's latest promotion, the Taco Bell Hotel and Resort, sold out in just 2 minutes. The Bell will operate for 4 nights in Palm Springs, California, starting August 8th at an existing hotel. The company says it'll offer the Taco Bell lifestyle in the rooms, pool, bar, and amenities for $169 a night. The Dow was up 73 on Friday, NASDAQ up 38, the S&P added 16. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Hey guys, good news. The expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And now get your first month's supply for just $5 at 4hims.com/Chris. Hims connects you with real doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. So easy. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to 4hims.com/Chris. That's 4hims.com/Chris.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Nissan in Horseheads and Hornell, drive away in a new Nissan Murano lease for only $299 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Nissan Murano S model with a 3.5 V6 engine, 18-inch alloys, forward collision warning, lease with no money down for $299 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And we're back. Yes, sir. Let me see. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, great news, always great news. AOC, an ordinary chowderhead. Well, I found this on, Metro New York. And the headline is, "We're not giving up on this." AOC touts plan to research medicinal use of magic mushrooms. That's right. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez took a long, strange trip to City Island in the Bronx on Saturday, touting her plan to research and potentially legalize magic mushrooms and other hallucinogens. Yes, sir. There are certain Schedule I drugs that are shown to offer a normal amount of promise to veterans and people with PTSD, and also people struggling with depression and opioid addiction, she told a town hall sponsored by activist group Indivisible City Island. The progressive darling filed legislation earlier this month to encourage studies of psilocybin, ecstasy, and other drugs that some believe could treat a range of ailments from depression to headaches. Psilocybin is also known as magic mushrooms. We were actually able to secure Republican co-sponsors. I wonder who they were. Anyway, we're not giving up on this, Ocasio-Cortez said. It's not about people seeing us winning. It's about people seeing us fighting. So let me repeat that. It's not about people seeing us winning. It's about people seeing us fighting. So I guess in her mind, it doesn't make any difference if it happens as long as people see them fighting or something. I don't get it. But anyway, she also said in this news thing there, the town hall, she also said she wants to prepare all communities for climate change. What that has to do with magic mushrooms, I have no idea. Yeah, and make sure that not just tourist attractions are protected from potential devastation. She previously said the world is going to end in 12 years if climate change is not addressed. And if you recall, a couple of weeks later, she said anybody who believed that would have the social intelligence of a sea sponge. So considering that she was the one who said it in the first place and repeated it, so I guess sea sponge, I guess it takes one to know one. I don't know. Anyway, that seems to be the end of the show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.
Want your vehicle looking just like it did when you drove it out of the dealership? Then stop by RBS Auto Detailing on Canastillo and Pine Streets in Hornell. RBS Auto Detailing. The before and after photos of your vehicle won't come close to showing the great job they'll do for you. Cleaning, washing, and waxing. They can get your vehicle looking nice and new both inside and out. RBS Auto Detailing on the corner of Canastillo and Pine Streets in Hornell.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump's back at the White House celebrating what he calls a successful trip to Asia, meeting with world leaders, including the president of China, and he took a few historic steps into North Korea, the first president to visit there.
President Trump met with Kim Jong-un for a third time, and last night, after landing back in D.C., the president tweeted, "So many amazing things happened over the last 3 days. All, or at least most of those things, are great for the United States. Much was accomplished."
Fox's Garrett Tenney. A new report about people dying trying to start a new life.
The UN's Migration Agency saying at least 32,000 people have died in the past 5 years while attempting dangerous migrant journeys, among them 1,600 children. Along the US-Mexico border, the agency counting 1,900 deaths since 2014, with the number rising each year.
Fox's Simon Owen. This is Fox News.
With the latest news, I'm Brian O'Neill. Graduations were held over the weekend at local high schools. The Wellsville Regional Newspaper reports there was an early morning two-vehicle crash on 417 in Andover this morning. Mike Baldwin